everybody, it's Andy Polk back at FFANY Market Week. You never know who you're going to run to in New York or at FFANY Market Week. You never know what you might see in New York at FFANY Market Week. I'm here with my very good friend Nico Van Enter from the Footwearists. Many people will know Nico not only from our podcast, but from our sustainability training that we've done a lot together. Nico, what are you doing in New York? All the way over from Europe?
I was actually not here for FFANY, although I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
We came here this week for BioFabricate, which is the largest conference for biofabrication, so lab-grown materials in fashion. And for those of you who are like, they should be footwear. No, but this is my co-founder, actually the original founder of a new venture that I'm involved in called NEFFA, which is called New Fashion Factory. And what we are doing is really reinventing the way we produce apparel, footwear, leather goods by making that fully in biomaterials. So here, what you're holding is mycelium. Okay. This is made fully in 3D in a robotic system. And why are we doing that? We are doing that so that we can finally really produce fashion locally, because we don't need any human labor. This is all done robotically. It's automated design, so parametric design for those of you that are watching and understand this, so we can make those textures in an automated way. We could do this for footwear as well. That's of course our next step that we want to do. Can make several colors, and this would really open the door to finally doing local for local, automated, new shapes. So yeah, so we made some cool contacts also with shoe brands at BioFabricate. But indeed, if anybody's watching, still looking for partnerships.
Yeah, so we're always talking about material innovation, especially in the ESG sustainability space.
Yes.
So basically, this is lab grown but fully sustainable, bio plant based.
So this is the reason why we can do this in an automated way is because it's slurry. So it's a biomass. So this is mycelium that Aniela grows in her lab in the Netherlands. So when I met Aniela, she was asking for advice because she said, okay, my method could be used for footwear, and I've done quite some consulting for biofabricated materials. And I was always frustrated that it would be like flat, flat sheets. You still have to ship them halfway across the world. You still have to cut and sew. You're still dependent on cheap labor. All of that we want to eradicate, but the one thing that's really hard to fully automate is the stitching. So, because it's difficult with different layers of moving material, especially if it's like 3D operations of stitching. In footwear, lots of stitching can be semi-automated, but not fully. So when we don't solve that issue, we're not going to be able to really do local. Even if we wanted to stitch, we don't even have the people to do it in the Western Hemisphere.
So we have to innovate.
So we have to innovate. Yeah. So the whole purpose of the angle that we started from is like, let's not do stitching. Right. So this is actually a slurry that is fully
mold piece.
It's applied around a mold by robots, and people in footwear might think, oh, molding very expensive, but it's not the case, because of course in shoes we need really heavy molds with high heat, high pressure. Right. We can do this basically with blister molds, balloons, things that you use for packaging for only a few cents, that you can also recycle in their own system. So be really
That's amazing.
fast. Yeah.
So BioFabricate, what was the response? People are wowed by what's happening, surprised at the advances? Because I think it's cool that it's not just the material you're working with, but you're working with the whole process.
Yes. Yeah, and it's also about the design. So my background is fashion design. I don't know a lot about footwear. That's why I approached Nicoline. Yeah. So hopefully people consider us as a dream team, covering all areas in fashion. But for design, for me, I was fed up. I mean, nothing new came, and I was working for some high fashion companies, and at a certain point I saw
figure for many years.
and I saw the same things coming back, and I was like, we need to innovate in fashion. And how can we innovate? Well, by changing manufacturing methods and making sure that also the new generation of designers can work with this. And I mean, we're talking about not having the people to sew, but we're also not having the people that can design. Because you need to design, you have to have a background in pattern making, etc.
None of this you have to do for that. So this was made on a body scan. Okay. You could also work with big data. You can work with body scans. It can be custom to size if you wish. It doesn't have to be fully custom. That depends on the brands. Yeah. So and there are several brands already interested to say, okay, let's see what we can do with runs. I mean, this you can do fully on demand. So we had a great talk with a brand, for instance, that does NFTs, and that's essential also for that market. They work on demand. We work on demand. So it's opening up a lot of opportunities.
That's awesome.
As well. And people were really enthused. And I think in general, also talking about the other people presenting at BioFabricate, lots of interesting materials. And I would just like to stimulate everybody in shoes to please step forward and also help and co-develop and also invest, because of course these things are not fully market ready. It still takes some research, and I think the question of all the companies that biofabricate was, okay, we're looking for brands to participate. And
Right.
of course, in footwear, we're a bit old-fashioned, so we're used to having things market ready, right? So
Right.
when can I produce? How much can I order?
Right,
How much
right.
does that cost? So, and now we have to have a trajectory where we have a year, 2 years, where we still co-develop, and then we can make something specifically for you, and you could be a launching partner and all of that. That's what all those companies are also looking for. There were some more great materials for footwear as well. Foams, leather replacement, different types of textiles, fully biological ways of dyeing. There was it's a great conference anyway, so for people who didn't go next year. It's a new lab in Brooklyn, and it's the biggest conference for sustainable biofabricated materials in fashion.
That's fantastic. Folks, we're constantly talking about this. We're talking constantly about environmentally preferred materials, biomaterials, understanding them fully. I think to attend these conferences, you can get a greater look at the innovations coming, but also have some sustainable wisdom, as we always say at FDRA. And again, I completely agree. We have to build the future, right? It's not just going to happen. We have to work together to do that.
Yeah.
And FDRA is working on that every single day to try to bring people together and working with innovators like you both to try to bring this up and try to help people think through things and innovate better in a better way for the environment and for workers globally. So congrats on this, and we're looking forward to hearing more.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, what's good to know for the shoe people that this is actually made with robots that are very common in the shoe industry.
Okay.
But indeed, trustworthy company. You will see more of us also, of course, in house fair and everything. But indeed, so for us, it was important that if we do this, it's not about people having to invest millions upon millions first in new equipment, completely changing your factory and all of that.
Brilliant.
You want to basically say, I have this machine, I adjust it, and I can
Brilliant.
So,
I love it.
Yeah, but also like a lot of the times you need to have big orders, and we have really flexible production. So the robot is recognizing the mold, so meaning that you could have an order of 100 pieces, followed by maybe testing one upper, and then maybe having thousands of pieces, and that could be all in the same supply chain. So you don't have to change your whole system. The system of manufacturing is there. You only change the mold that's coming in front of it, and I think that's. At least I know it's in fashion very important, but I think it's in footwear also very interesting that you can start with a smaller batch, testing out some new designs, have only 100 produced. If it's successful, then you start producing thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Right. Excellent. Well, folks, as always, we love what the footwearists are doing and educating and moving the industry along. And here, Nicoline's putting her money where the mouth is. And she's going out there and actually building it, right?
Yes.
So, congrats to you guys. And we look forward to learning more about this. And as we keep working closer together on sustainability and other innovation-related issues between the footwearists and FDRA, we hope more and more people find solutions like this, invest and believe in it, and start to work together on this.
Thanks, Andy.